Welcome to the Higher Energy Superpower. This is episode 23 of the Turbo Duo Cast. I am your host, Salvatore Mata, and to my left is my brother from another game show lover. He is the oral assassin. He puts the ass in classic gaming, everybody. It is Trenton E. Wright the Third.
Come on, ride the train, choo-choo, ride it. Come on, ride the train, it's a choo-choo train.
23. I mean, you gotta highlight Michael Jordan. I mean, obviously that is
the only 2-3 that matters.
That is the only 2-3 that matters. I mean, I don't care who else, whoever, anywhere, anytime, any place. It's MJ or nothing.
It's MJ all day.
Yep. And you don't know this, but we're going to be starting a new segment on the podcast.
Nice.
You have to eat 12 hot dogs before we go off the air.
This is taking over the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Yeah, it's just in the course of our podcast.
Oh.
You have to eat 12 hot dogs.
Now, where are the hot dogs?
You got to fit the hot dogs in that. You know, call it an hour and a half, 2 hour span.
Oh, if they're not like wrapped up like a stick of dynamite, like you just gotta chug them all at once.
I don't care how you throw them down.
You know, like wrapped in a string.
I got
like
you. I know what you're saying.
Like the cartoon dynamite.
Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna be eating it like a big hawk. You know, just like gnawing off bites. Whereas if you just take them one by one, you can slide them down straight down the gullet. You know what I mean?
Pause.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't decided if you need to eat the bread or not.
Well, I mean, there's like no carbs in the hot. You know, it's all in the bread.
So maybe you have to eat the bread.
Yeah, I mean I mean, if you want to be official,
are you gonna?
That's how they do it in the
Nathan style. Or are you gonna
dunk it in the water?
Dunk it in the water and just
throw it. Just throw it.
Split the hot dogs in half and chug them down.
I have a certain way I eat my hot dog.
Have you ever entered a food like contest?
No.
You never did anything like that? We watched my buddy Adam try to eat like 3 pounds of food at
when you get it for free and you get it for free or something like that.
He had to eat all this food. It was like a giant
3 dozen
pancake.
eggs.
Like 6 pieces of toast. You know, an order of ham, an order of sausage, an order of bacon.
I think my dad did one. Man, this had to be like 20 years ago or something.
Really?
At least. Yeah, we went to something in Norwich.
The man who has the Guinness Book of World Records for riding a treadmill for the longest period of time.
Stationary bike.
Stationary bike. Sorry.
Yeah.
Did that happen? Did he get it?
It was. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was like a Guinness record or something. I don't remember.
He's like the Dos Equis guy. He's like the most interesting man in the world. Trenton E. Wright, Jr.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know if it was a hot dog eating contest, but it was something like that. It was in Norwich. I don't know if we were at like. It was during the summer, obviously. I don't know if it was like because they used to do, or I don't know if they still do. They did like the Italian festival down there in like downtown Norwich. I don't know if it was part of that, but I definitely remember him being in some kind of. It might have been like one. I think it was a pie eating contest, actually.
I could see your dad in a pie eating contest.
I think it was a pie eating contest.
Definitely
now that I'm rattling my brain, you know.
Yeah, with like your hands tied behind your back, and they make.
Yeah.
It's like a blackberry pie, something real gross that's gonna get all over the place. Yeah. It couldn't be apple. It's got to be something that stains everything. Yeah. You know.
It's all about the show, you know.
Oh, you know. What is it? It's about the show. It's about the hustle. What is it?
Hustle, loyalty, respect. John Cena?
No, John Cena's terrible. Nobody likes him anymore. For anybody who doesn't know, Trenton's father was a substitute teacher of mine at Horace W. Porter School in Columbia, Connecticut.
I mean, obviously everyone knew that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people might not know because Trenton and I grew up in other towns, but I knew Trenton's dad before I knew Trenton. And I knew Trenton's dad's mustache before I knew Trenton's dad.
Well, yeah, because I came in first through the
door. It's got its own suit.
You're like, what's that mustache carrying in here?
Yeah, it's like, oh, there's a man attached to that thing. Damn. He's like, sit down. Everybody sit down.
It's like
the most hardcore substitute teacher I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, it's like the movie The Substitute where he breaks out the yo-yo.
Yes.
It's like whoosh, gets it like right into his face.
He's not messing around.
Was it Tom Berenger?
Tom Berenger, baby. Yeah, we were talking about Major League, right?
Tommy Berenger. That's. I feel like that's like an underrated movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
The Substitute.
How about The Substitute 2, 3, and 4?
I can't. It was the second one where they had like it was like the Korean chop shop underneath the school where they were.
I don't know.
I've watched them all. I mean,
you know who's a big fan of The Substitute is Pat Musin.
Really, it's a good movie.
Huge fan of The Substitute.
It's a good movie. The first one, I mean, the second one, it kind of, then it got a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I think he would watch The Substitute and then watch The Fast Lane to Malibu, which was a softcore porn, and then he would watch The Substitute 2, and then The Fast Lane to Vegas. He would just kind of interlace them. I'm sorry, I totally made that up. I just totally made that up.
I was like, what? What the hell is that?
Speaking of breakfast places, because this is a video game podcast.
Yeah.
You know what annoys me?
Everything?
We were out to breakfast the other day. I'm drinking a coffee, right? Now, the way I drink coffee is like the wolf from Pulp Fiction. Lots of cream, lots of sugar. Right?
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm halfway down.
Go ahead. Halfway.
Guy comes around the corner. Hey, sir, can I top you off?
Pause.
You know, if you put... there's a chemistry to the coffee. If you put more coffee in the cup, what happens now to the cream and sugar that's left in that coffee?
It's get diluted.
Exactly, because now I'm not going to enjoy my coffee. So it's like,
is this a Seinfeld bit?
I'm just saying, like, let me drink the coffee.
No, I got what do you mean? I get the sugar. The ratio's all off.
There should be a rule. They should only ask that of people who order black coffee, because anybody who's got cream and sugar, it's going to change up. Then you got to add more, and now half of it's not as hot, and then half of it is hotter. So now it becomes this weird sort of mixture, you know.
If only we all had that problem.
I wish they would not ask me, because it's just like, you know.
Just trying to be nice.
Then I got to explain it to them, like, you know, and then they look at me and it's like, man, I make $8.70 an hour. I don't need to be listening to this
why
right
can't
now.
you just say no? No, I'm good. Thank you, though.
I do, but in my head, this is the battle that goes on inside of me. I just want to give everybody a fair lay of the land of what happens.
Hey, well, if that's your biggest problem for the whole week, I think you're doing pretty good.
I'm married, buddy. I got bigger problems.
I got chickens clucking all hours of the day. I can't get him in there. Roost.
So we're going to be talking to Jeff from Wave One Games. I don't know if we ever got Jeff's last name, but Jeff is
no, that's his name. It's Jeff from Wave One Games.
Jeff. It's like a Portuguese soccer star. He has one name.
Yeah, it's Jeff, middle name from, last name
Jeff
Wave
from
One Games.
Wave One Games. And so we're going to be asking him. Jeff is a developer, a small developer who develops, of all things, Jaguar games. At least that's what he's developed up until now.
As everyone should. You
know, just chatting with him, just to get a programmer's perspective. You know, ask him some questions about what development is like, what's happening with Wave One Games, what are some of the things that they're working on. Just get some insight into that world a little bit. And we thought that would be really fun to do for this podcast, because we've chatted about the game that he just came out with, or recently came out with, which was Jag Zombies 2, which Trenton got. And we had a lot of fun with.
Solid game.
You know, so we
it's a first here on the show, an interview.
Yeah, and so hopefully that'll be a fun time. We can get a hold of him and chat with him a little bit about what's happening in his world, and possibly some new developments, if there are any that he's coming up with. So right now he's just done, I think, light gun games, but I'd be interested to hear if he's
in a way, yeah.
Yeah, well, gallery shooters.
Yeah.
But I'd be interested to hear if he's working on anything else, and so it should be a lot of fun. So before we get into that, I'd like to chat about some pickups, if I may. I see that your side of the table is empty, which means that I get to continue to talk, which is not as fun.
I had too many things to bring.
Oh, okay.
Did
you have some
that weren't pickup? No.
Did you have some pickups?
No, I had made something for my dad.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
that's special.
I made that wooden
you made it
cooler
for your dad, or you made it for your dad's mustache?
Yeah. Well, the mustache isn't there anymore.
Listen, it existed.
It's there, but it's just not there.
You need to tell him to grow that thing again.
Actually, you know what I did pick up that I just got Die Hard 2 on PS1.
A Die Hard trilogy?
Yeah,
2?
the Die Hard trilogy 2.
How is that?
Don't know. I literally just got it Thursday. I mean, today's Saturday that we're recording this, so I only got it a couple days ago. Haven't booted up the PS2 to play the PS1 game.
Yeah, I really liked Die Hard trilogy, the first one, with the 3 different game segments: the third-person shooter, the light gun game, and then the driving.
Oh, you know, and I'll speak about it briefly. I did pick up. I posted it on our Instagram. If you can follow on the Turbo Duo. I picked up some portable games. I picked up Sonic Rush on the DS, nice. Sonic Advance 2 for the Game Boy Advance, and Mario Kart Super Circuit for the Game Boy
Super Circuit's
Advance.
a great game.
A Game Exchange for pretty good prices. I got Sonic Rush complete for $12. Sonic Advance 2 for...
You have a DS?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sonic Advance 2 for, I think it was $5. And then...
I like Sonic Advance.
Yeah, and then Mario Kart Super Circuit for $10. Because
nice.
I hadn't really gotten to the Game Boy Advance, and every time I see, some name brand games, I got to pick them up. Especially if they were pretty good prices, too.
Advance is interesting because it's sort of like a Super Nintendo on steroids. And...
It's the 16-bit, 32-bit system.
Right. And it came out sort of in that...
right in between.
Right at the end of like when the Dreamcast was kind of going out. What was that, 2001?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I we could let that lie. We can talk about some...
it could count. It could count.
We could talk about some Game Boy Advance. We're not really a portable podcast, but we could throw that in. We could keep the listeners guessing every once in a while with something that's retro related, like a Sonic Advance or something like that.
Yeah.
Mario Kart Super Circuit.
It has roots in the retro.
It has. There you go. You said it better. So, we'll get into some pickups here. So we've actually heard from Trenton. So I'm
now that we got that out of the way,
we got all your BS out of the way. Here we go. Here we get to the good stuff.
Let the spotlight shine on me.
I actually purchased some retro stuff. I've been going hard in the paint.
Oh yeah, have you?
I've been going hard in the paint a little
like
bit.
Patrick Ewing in the fourth quarter.
I mean, my favorite center of all time.
So yes,
New York Knicks till I die, right? Maybe. So I was at the flea market the other day.
Oh.
And copped a deal, as they say in the game.
Whoa, copped a deal, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, a fat deal. It's a fat deal.
Yeah, you couldn't say that any more white. A fat deal?
It was Trill. How about that? Was it Trill?
No.
A fat deal. You like fat deal better because it just
the fact that you're asking
evokes my whiteness.
Yeah, the fact that you're asking makes it worse.
So we're gonna be posting a podcast actually that we've pre-recorded that's gonna be coming out after this one on the Game Boy. So that'll be coming out after this. And so just on the topic of the Game Boy, which normally we're not doing portable stuff, but saw some games that I don't normally see. One of them being this game, which is Balloon Kid, which I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but
it's a classic. That's actually one of the first games I played on the Game Boy.
Balloon Fight is one of those really good early single screen NES games, almost like a Atari game that was,
Yeah, it's set up like the Mario Brothers.
It's like Joust. It's like Joust, but with balloons.
Yeah.
And so Balloon Kid is, from what I've seen, is basically like a story mode of that where you're traveling.
Oh, you've never played it?
No.
Oh.
No, I've seen video game footage of gameplay footage of
Think of it like
it's like Nintendo Land, the Balloon Fight in Nintendo Land, where you're traveling through that landscape.
I was gonna say it's like the original like Angry Bird style, where you gotta keep tapping the button to
get up higher,
keep going, and
or Flappy Bird or something.
Yeah, Flappy Bird. Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
Flappy Bird. Yeah.
No, it's a fun game.
Supposed to be really good. Very challenging game, and I love Balloon Fight, so I thought that was kind of a neat little pickup. I got it for $5.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it's not like a highly valued game, but it's a good one. Like I said,
I don't ever see it though.
Yeah. That's like one of the first games I played. I think one of my friends had it, and I borrowed it from him for a while because I would just play that game specifically.
I'm not like really into the portable stuff as much, so when I go to a video game store and I see just like the quilt of like Game Boy games that's like just like there,
like, ooh.
But my eyes just like they start to like unfocus. I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at here, and it's overload. I can't do it. I'm walking away. Sorry, is that more Seinfeld for you? Next game I got, of course, we're ever increasing our library of Turbo Graphics games, and this is kind of an interesting one because being a Sega kid and also the Turbo Graphics being sort of that forbidden fruit for me, that system that was kind of out there, but it was out there, man.
Literally no one had.
Yeah. And so that game is Fantasy Zone on the TurboGrafx 16, which is a Sega game. Fantasy Zone also came out for the Sega Master System. You got some of those Sega Master System games that came out.
There's NES? There's a Fantasy Zone.
Tengen made a Fantasy Zone, and that's actually a really good version.
Which is weird because I have a vivid memory of playing that randomly when one of my friends from down the street came over while we had someone babysitting. And remember playing that game.
It's the NES is probably the most accessible one because who had a Sega Master System back then?
And then you take it one step further, and who
even
had
Shinobi,
turbo graphics?
They made Shinobi. Like Tenjin made Shinobi.
Yeah.
For the NES as well.
On the black cart.
Afterburner.
Yeah.
You know,
yep,
so
right.
I mean, there were some Sega games that we saw crossover with, and we saw those same games on the Turbo graphics. So
it's kind of weird. The games came like this, right, in the jewel case with nothing on the back, right?
Right. Well, they came with a big cardboard sleeve.
Oh, they did.
That had images on the back. It was a large cardboard sleeve, almost like an NES.
But did that get sold with the game, or was that just for display?
No, it came with the game.
Have you ever seen them?
Yes.
Like for sale? Like
yes.
With the
they're on. You can find them on eBay too. But the games go for way more for that. So
obviously.
Since I don't have any of those, I figured go for the complete inbox.
Because I've just never seen them. I've never even seen one anywhere.
The games are exponentially more expensive when you find them with that.
Well, of course. Yeah.
But this is supposed to be, arguably the best version of Fantasy Zone that was released in the United States. So, of course, when I have an opportunity to get a game, I want to get the best version if I can. And the TurboGrafx 16 version of Fantasy Zone is supposed to be the best. I have Fantasy Zone 2 as well for the Master System, but that didn't come out on the TurboGrafx. So
did you eBay that one?
Yeah, most of the stuff was eBay or Mercari. I've been doing a lot of Mercari.
Really?
Yeah. Because what I do,
I've kind of given up on Mercari. I don't know.
But you know what I do? I just do newest listings, and I just do Sega or TurboGrafx, and then I just see what is the new listings that are on there.
Well, I mean,
that's all I do. I don't look for specific games. I just let it come to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you can do the same thing on eBay too. I don't know. I don't know. I've kind of given up on Mercari. I don't even list anything on there anymore. I don't know if that's just me or if that's everyone feels the same way. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do see a lot of new Sega stuff on there, but your search can't be like pointed like it is on eBay. You can't just say like I want to look for this specific item. Sometimes it won't be on there. You know what I mean? So,
I got
you have to just kind of have more of a general nature of what you're looking for, like Super Nintendo games or whatever. You just put in Super Nintendo and just see what's doing, because you can find some deals on there.
You gotta get back on. Well, you don't have to get back on, but you got to look on Facebook Marketplace. I'm telling you, they're literally chomping at eBay right now. So what they just did recently is they did like a promotion where if you're a seller, they did a thing where they would like waive their fees. Like, so if you're selling and shipping, they were taking 5%, whereas eBay, after all said and done, they're taking like 14%. Yeah. So they waived their fees, and they gave you 50 free shipping labels, so you can offer your stuff with free shipping, and it's covered.
Are you serious?
So the person buying doesn't have to pay shipping, and you don't pay for shipping. So that's like literally.
That's like finding it at like a tag sale.
It's sort of like you get average between $5 and $10 to ship something.
It's just tax.
Yeah. So like you're saving like $500, or you could price your item a couple dollars higher because you're offering free shipping. So you could potentially be making
in the middle. Like you offer it for maybe you make a little bit more, but you give a little bit of a discount.
Yeah, they're not taking any fee out of it either.
You're coming from the buyer's standpoint.
Yeah,
seller standpoint, right?
Yeah. But then also what they did, because there was another guy I know that's like reselling stuff too, and he sent it to me because I hadn't registered my thing yet. They actually waived, if you put in your business information, they waived fees for a whole year.
Holy cow.
So as a seller, they take nothing anymore for a whole year until next June.
Did you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Until next June. And they're only taking 5% to begin with, as in eBay's taking 14%. And at least for me, like, things are selling on Facebook within, like, I had 2 PS2s. One PS2 with like 8 games I listed for 100. It sold in a minute.
Holy cow.
And then I had another one I put up for 130 because I had that I think I showed you like last year, one of those, like, the screens I would attach to it. Yep. Just some like random off-brand one.
Intech or something.
No, it was Region, or I don't know, some random, not even like a name, like a third party. It was like a third party. Not
even Naki or anything like that.
Yeah. And I had this. When I picked it up, I found it at Savers for a couple bucks. I didn't even know what it was because I couldn't even figure out. And then once I brought it home, I was like,
"Why'd you buy it?"
Because it was like $5. I knew it was a screen of some sort. It went to something. I couldn't figure out what system it went for. and you pull the sides and it fits onto the fat PS2. So
So
I put that with like a bunch of games on the PS2 for $130, and that sold in like a minute.
Wow.
I don't know if it's PS2s are for some reason really hot right now.
I know PS2s are getting hot because the people who bought those are starting to, get real jobs,
Yeah.
and so they're looking for their,
But yeah, the thing is because like everyone's on Facebook already, and then like why go to another site when you're already on this site? Why even leave? Like when you're on Facebook, you just click Facebook Marketplace. And also like the way they have their algorithm on Facebook, like so if you're looking up video games, then when you go to open Facebook Marketplaces again, it shows you like new listings just randomly that you might be interested in. So like the way the algorithm is, you can just open up Facebook and like, oh, I want that now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where in eBay, it's like you have to specifically type in what you're looking for to find it. You know what I mean?
No wonder you're not going to Mercari anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not on Facebook Marketplace, so.
No, I mean you should if you're looking for stuff because a lot of stuff's a lot cheaper on Facebook too. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I'll have to check it out again.
Even just to use it for Marketplace to find like games and stuff.
Yeah, because I'm always hunting for stuff like that, and I usually go to eBay or sometimes Mercari, but most of this stuff is eBay stuff.
Yeah.
So the next game is a game I've been looking for. I've been trying to find for a real long time. Again, all these deep cuts are stuff that maybe you guys might not be interested in, but I'm such a nerd out about old arcade games and things like that. The game is Kadash on the Sega Genesis.
Oh damn!
If you can see that. So it's a two-player side-scrolling action.
Is it like
adventure game?
Like Rastin or
yep. So the character who the warrior is they don't call him Rastin, but he's supposed to be Rastin.
It's a different company? Or?
No, Taito.
Oh, it's the same company?
Yep.
Oh wow.
It's pretty, so you can play as the mage or you can play as Rastin or the warrior.
The arcade hit.
Yeah, so there's two versions of this game. There's a TurboGrafx version and there's a Genesis version.
Hi, my friend.
I know. Hey, listen, you know what?
Hey, my friend. Hey, I know. I tried. I tell you. Hey.
This is a very expensive game. And
oh, really?
So I'm going to tell a little story because we talked about Aero Blasters.
It's just funny. I open it up. Hey, so I know. Well, let me explain.
Yeah, I didn't.
We're a little short here.
I didn't get it with the manual. I got it with the case. I got a really, really good deal on it. And the reason why I got a really good deal on this game is because it was littered. Like I'll show pictures. Well, I'll send you the pictures to put in here. It was littered with stickers and tape.
The case or the cart?
The case and the cart. The cart had stickers all over it. I had one of those void stickers on the side.
Oh, the metallic ones.
So I was like, okay, is there a way to do this? Because this guy had this listing on here, and he didn't want that much for it, and it came in actually this case right here.
Oh, you switched out the case?
It came in a rental case. So this is Jurassic Park, but this is actually the case it came in. It was, which I think is cool in and of itself. Like I like.
Yeah, those are the
old style rental cases.
These are the ones they used to have at the Stop and Shop.
Yes.
Well, our local grocery store around here, Stop and Shop. They would come in this rental case like this.
So the game came in the rental case.
Oh, video update, Anchorage, Alaska.
Yeah, it came from Alaska. So this actually had the insert, which is the cover art, inside of it, and I said, you know what, I can get another case and I can put that in there.
Yeah, it wasn't like
and then
like when they used to cut up the boxes for the Super Nintendo and NES.
No, this is just an insert. So they just put the insert in here. I said, you know what, let me take a chance on this. And then I took the board out of the game case or the game shell itself, and I used I don't know if you've heard of this, the hairdryer trick.
Oh yeah, you just heat it up.
You heat it up.
You melt the adhesion.
It's hair dryer. It's patience, and it's a strong fingernail.
It's more patience than hair
because
dryer.
you have to really kind of pick away, but you need to make sure that glue loosens up enough.
Get that glue all loosened.
If you're motivated enough, I mean, believe it or not, this looks pretty good considering there's a little clip that I notched it right there, but other than that, it actually looks pretty good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, so we'll
if
share some of the pictures.
If you wouldn't have told me, I wouldn't have noticed. You know,
it was covered with stickers, covered with like price stickers.
So my friend, how many pieces you pay?
Oh, I think it was $40.
40.
Yeah, and I mean this game normally.
Why is
goes
it like
for,
a $75 game?
It's like $100.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I'll take it for not having the manual to have it in the case and be able to put it on my shelf and have it be
Yeah.
like it's like an ultra.
Is it 2
deep
player
cut.
at the same time?
Yeah, 2 players at the same time.
Huh.
You can have 1 mage, 1 warrior. The TurboGrafx has all 4 characters in it, but it's not supposed to be the most playable version of the game. So, and this looks most like the arcade version. So
Looks like the logo just looks like a metal band. You know?
yeah, kind of.
Kadash.
Kadash. So excited to have that in the lineup. This is one I've wanted for a while, Trenton. You have this game.
Oh. Sort of a million.
Yeah, so it's sort of Vermilion with the hint book, and I got this piecemeal. So I got the manual and the hint book separate, and I got the game and the case separate. And so all told, I got it for $40 for everything.
I feel like that's a good price.
Yeah, I mean, look at the hint book. It looks like
No, I know.
it's in great condition. So
Still glossy.
Am I going to use the hint book? Probably.
It doesn't matter.
But I wanted it.
Oh, they literally just reprinted the whole the box. Like they even put the back.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, they basically just redid that and put it in there. But it really kind of cool.
Oh damn!
To have
a full color
hint book. It came with that. They did one of these for Phantasy Star 2 as well. So this is one of those games where it's an RPG, but it's also an action game. It has a top-down segment. They just threw a whole bunch of different things into it. It's got amazing music, and
this is a game I got a while ago. Yeah. I didn't have the hint book, but even the instruction book is pretty thick, right?
Yeah, actually it is. It's really thick.
Yeah, that's why I thought I had it. I was like, oh yeah, I got it with the book because I just the regular booklet.
But this is a pretty sterling copy. I mean, but see, I bought them piecemeal. I bought the manual and the hint book separate, and I got them both like each for $20.
That's good.
So the game and case I got in Mercari for $20, and I got the manual and the hint book for $20 on eBay.
Oh, someone was selling the manual and the hint book separate.
So they called it game manual. Like they're selling the game manual.
Oh, so it didn't say hint book.
But it had the picture of both of them, and I was like, I'm gonna take a chance here, and I think it does have it in it. And of course, when they sent it in, it had both of them.
Oh, so yeah, if it wasn't labeled hint book, then people might overlook it.
Yeah, so just take these kind of tips, guys. If you're looking for games, just try to be resourceful and find different ways to get it. Because if I didn't do this, I wouldn't be able to get games like Kadash and Vermilion the way that I wanted to. So that's another one, an early Genesis game, a pre-Sonic 1 game that we love that early era of the Genesis. There's just something about it that makes it really cool, and that pushes us into the next game, which I've been wanting for a very long time. Now I have to preface this, don't get upset. It's just the case. The so this is another one. I got the label from
where you got the
Shiggity on
do the liggity.
I think his name's Shiggity on eBay.
Do the liggity.
He had a bunch of manuals. This was one of them. I bought it, I don't know, probably 4
manual
months ago.
The cover.
Or the insert.
Yeah.
And then I found it was one of those listings that had, pick your game.
Yeah, where you just drop down menu and you choose.
And it looks like it's all loose games. Well, he had Dick Tracy on there, and I go to it. It's got the manual with it.
From Shiggity.
Yeah, no. Just this.
Some other seller
collector who was selling off his games or whatever, and it just so happened that it came with the manual. A little rough, but it came. It
was just the cart in the manual.
Oh,
okay, gotcha.
So I already had the insert, and now I'm gonna have a complete copy. It doesn't have it in here now. It's supposed to come today. It'll probably come on Monday.
Right.
But another early Genesis game, really kind of like just unique, cool, good music. Just an early Genesis game that this game's going up in value. This game's like $80.
Is it? Because remember, I picked it up at Game Exchange. I was like, hey, they got Dick Tracy here for like $20 or something. They're like, all day, get that all day.
Yeah.
And I grabbed it. I think they didn't have the manual, but I think it was only like $20.
Did you have it with the case?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All day, dude. It's
I know.
It's seriously, it's like an $80 game now. And
complete,
like I don't know, a year and a half ago it was. Or 2 years ago, it was like a $20, $30 game.
Yeah.
So this is one that's really increased in value. So it just made it more difficult to find. But I was able to complete that. So I'm excited about Dick Tracy and a few more off the list. That
more of the Dick than the Tracy, though, right?
Yeah. Well, I was saying we need to make a T-shirt like our I Love Rod and just say I need Dick Tracy, but the Tracy's on the back of the shirt.
You don't want the Dick on the back.
All right.
Well, I guess that'd be out of sequence, so it wouldn't make any sense then,
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you have Jurassic Park in a rental case.
Yeah, who doesn't need Jurassic Park in a rental case? I don't know what it is about these rental cases.
I have a Mario 3
I
have a Mario 3 in a rental case.
Like they're just I don't know. I like the way they snap shut. You know, like when you just like.
Yeah, I remember they had that black bar that would slide on it. And they have their little plastic contraption to lock it to unlock it.
It just kind of locks together, all snug and tight. I love it. But anyways,
you just think of Stop and Shop when you see it. That's why.
Probably. I remember I bought Virtua Racing there in one of these.
Yeah.
When they were selling $8. $8 for Virtua Racing. Don't ask me why I remember that, but all right. Well, with that, I think we're gonna try to head into our modern retro moment. So we're gonna break here, and we're gonna next segment we're gonna head into our modern retro moment, and hopefully the interview with Jeff from Wave One Games. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
Ride the wave.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
The mob has taken over the streets. Crime is out of control. Who can stop this? Only Dick Tracy, master detective with legendary deductive powers, dedicated lawman known and feared by criminals everywhere. With the aid of his dependable right-hand man, Sam Ketchum, and the best in crime-fighting technology, Dick Tracy's gonna clean up the city his own way. Can Tracy and Ketchum do it alone? Find out next time. Dick Tracy! From Playmates.
All right.
All right, time for our modern retro moment, also known as our "It's Still Real to Me, Damn It" moment. See, Trenton, here's what you got to do. We don't have beer right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you take the beard,
right,
and then you add the best beer out there,
the High Life,
which is Miller High Life, because it is the champagne. And look at what you do. You combine. It's like, ooh, you got. Ooh, I don't know if I want to do it. Gonna do it. Oh no! It's the Mega Powers right here.
What was it? Man, I can't remember. The Autumn Offering shirt. What is it? Like Low Life or something like that?
Life. I used to have one of those.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I would say she made me throw it away, but then I'll probably get slapped if she hears me. So, look at that. Oh my God! Look at that. Would you just look at it?
Just look at it.
Look at it.
Look at it.
Oh, jeez.
Awesome. We're all happy for you.
So, something that just got announced. We did have E3, which I did not watch, which is probably shame on me.
I don't know.
Thank you very much.
I didn't see anything.
But
either.
I did hear that there was an announcement, and this could have been at E3 or before. I'm not really sure. But there was an announcement for House of the Dead remake, which, of course, is something that I'm kind of excited about. You know, just the celebration of old games.
That's all we care
by
about.
Remaking them is something that, it doesn't mean I'm going to buy it. It
Yeah.
just means that I'm excited that a new generation hopefully will be able to experience those games. House of the Dead 1 is a game that is landlocked to the Sega Saturn, really, when you think about it. It didn't have a port to anything else, and to get that game, it's not an amazing port. It's not even a great port, and it's, you know, we're talking about $400 plus.
So they should make it, is what you're saying.
So this is great, is what I'm saying, is that they're going to make this way more accessible to people. And
wait, you're saying, oh, this is House of the Dead, the original
1.
They're doing a remake.
They're doing a remake of House of the Dead 1.
It's like, why not just do all of them?
So
put them on a cart or
right.
disc.
I know. Well, the cart would be great.
Well, on the Switch, you know what I mean?
Yes, I got you. A card. But so it's being developed by Megapixel Studio, which is the same studio that did the Panzer Dragoon remake.
That remake
on
they just
Switch.
came out with.
And so they're actually signed up to do Panzer Dragoon 2, which is the second Panzer Dragoon, and then also House of the Dead 2. So they're going to remake all of those games.
They're really going to milk you for each port, huh?
Well, you know what?
It's like they can't just put like all 3 of them like on one disc or
I think
however.
I think they want to make each game its own event and make it a celebration, because these are really, really special games, and each in their own right deserve their own sort of like spotlight, which I don't mind. You know, I was hearing, you know, what I've heard is that the Panzer Dragoon remake, which I didn't buy, was a very good port.
Yeah.
You know, they even you know, not revamped it, but they even what's it called when you go back in and kind of fine tune it, like they fine tuned the controls even after it was released, because they were getting community feedback.
They put some patches.
There
on it.
There were some patches to make it, you know, maybe feel a little bit more like the original version. So these people, this company cares, and they do a good job from what I've heard. So I would expect nothing less in this House of the Dead remake. It's the graphics in this are not like mind blowing. They're just an updated version of what we saw before. I don't even think it looks as impressive as what the Panzer Dragoon remake looked like. I mean, that was really, really beautiful. It's a grittier game anyways, and it's not. I mean, it looks almost like House of the Dead 4.
I was wondering if they made any like gun attachments for,
I don't know,
like the Switch
that's
or
the thing is how are you gonna
PlayStation.
How are you gonna do this game right when you don't even have a gun? I mean, I
mean, the Joy-Con. I think you use it as like a Wiimote.
So that's the thing is it's going to be Switch, Xbox One, PS4, PS5. So PS4, I mean, theoretically you could use the Move controller, the ones.
Yeah, they still work on the PS5.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh.
I think you can use those
with the camera, right?
Yeah, with the PlayStation camera. So that should work. I mean, I can understand that. How are you going to do it with the Joy-Con? I tried. We were at a friend's house and they had gotten Super Mario 3D World, which was a Wii U game, and there's some parts of that game that game was re-released on Switch, and there's a part where you have to like tap on these blocks to make them go in, out so that you can climb them, and to do it on Switch because there's no screen, you have to like position the cursor and click in ZR.
Oh, you're saying on the Wii you'd use the tablet and tap the screen.
You use the tablet. It's so user friendly. It's like
oh.
intuitive. And on the Switch, it was so cumbersome. We didn't even know how to get up this hill. Like it was like.
I guess it was so. I guess you could maybe they have it where you can in the handheld mode you can do it. You could touch the screen maybe.
For 3D World.
Yeah.
Probably, but if you're playing it with a bunch of, the whole idea is to. Play it on the big screen. So I don't know. In terms of the House of the Dead remake, how is that going to work on Switch? I don't know. I feel like that's where. I don't know what the delineation is between where people buy games like this, but it seems like it would be easier to do this on a PS4 than it would a Switch. Is my comment.
Why is that? I mean, you have the Joy-Cons. Like you can hold them like that with the trigger.
Yeah, but what is it connecting to? How does the system know that you're pointing in a certain direction?
Oh, I don't.
There's no camera. I mean, how does what other input method are you using on the other side to say this is where you're pointing it?
Huh. Yeah, I guess you're right.
I don't. Maybe there is. I don't know. I just know that I don't understand it. So that's all. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, I think it's kind of cool. I'm excited that they're remaking that, and I think it's supposed to come out this year, at the end of this year.
Would make sense. It's not like a brand new game,
Yeah, I don't think it's going to take too much for them to do, and it doesn't look like it's highly advanced. Like I said, it looks like a game that's maybe 10 years old, the remake is.
Yeah.
But even then, you don't really need it to be.
It's like how much can you charge for that though? $20?
$20 maybe? $30?
But I think people that want to play that game like want an actual copy of the game though.
Right.
It's like I guess it would be something like limited run games would make, where they only make a few thousand copies or something.
Then nobody gets it.
It's kind of it's like $20 to play,
right?
Like a half hour, 45 minutes maybe.
Right. People who really want it are going to buy it no matter what.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. That it would make more sense to put like all three of them and charge $50. That's worth it,
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people that want that game want
like
the actual physical copy.
Make it about House of the Dead 1, but then put 2 and 3 on there. Maybe like HD versions of what came out on Xbox.
Unless it's not going to be a physical release and it's just going to be digital. I think probably the cost to make a physical of like a game just like that.
But they made a physical version of Panzer Dragoon for Switch, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, that's not an arcade game though. It has a lot more length to it than a 30-minute railgun shooter,
That's what she said.
Mm.
So either way, stay tuned for that. Look out for that. Check out the trailer. If you're into light gun shooting games, and you're going to be into this, especially if you like the horror genre. So it's a game that I loved playing as a kid when we used to go to Vernon Golfland all the time.
Memories.
And the Saturn version's it's decent. It's not great. It's not a great version. So hopefully this kind of rights the wrongs.
It's the only version.
It's the only version though. So and let's pivot now and we're actually gonna be having our first interview on the podcast.
It's about damn time. You want it? You got it.
That's it. You asked for it. So we're going to be having a conversation with Wave 1 Games, and Wave 1 Games actually makes a game on the Atari Jaguar, of all things, called Jag Zombies, which
The
is
most
a
prized
light
system
gun,
there is.
which is a light gun shooter on the Jaguar, which uses a controller because the Jaguar did not have a gun attachment. But you know,
They
actually,
barely had a controller attachment.
but I thought that was kind of interesting that they announced House of the Dead, and we're going to be talking to Jeff from Wave 1 Games. So, you know, maybe we can ask him his opinion of House of the Dead as well. But Jeff, you know,
That's beautiful.
Jeff and Wave 1 Games, they've actually come out with a few different games, a few different projects for the Atari Jaguar. It's, you know, it's so interesting, and I'm going to ask him about this, but that there's this continued development for the Atari Jaguar, which, you know, was a failure of a failure. You know what I mean? Like it's you know how you have like a YouTuber. The system was like a failure. You know, like
how to fail in gaming.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Atari Jaguar.
Yeah.
It's like that's how you do it.
You have to want to fail
Yeah.
to fail as bad as the Jaguar did. No, I'm being mean, but
Well, no, I mean it's all true.
but
But in hindsight, but now is the time to be a fan.
yeah, of all times. But Jeff's created, you know, by and large, wouldn't you say they're similar games to each other that he's created? It's all similar. It's like almost like a rail shooter or a light gun shooter type
like
of it style.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll mention it. Like Saucer Wars was kind of the original game that kind of transitioned into Jag Zombies. Another kind of, I don't know, I guess you call it like a gallery shooter in a way. I mean, you're not really moving around. You're in like in one specific area,
Right.
and the enemies are coming at you.
Yep.
So that's kind of where like the Jag Zombies started from.
Yeah, so he's created Fast Food, Saucer Wars, Jag Zombies 2, and he's actually working on a new project that we'll ask him about called Shark Bite. When
Not like the fruit snacks though, unfortunately.
no BYTE Shark Bite. But yeah, why don't we try to see if we can get Jeff on the phone here and chat with him about his escapades in Jaguar Land.
Ooh, that sounds exciting.
That should be a game. Escapades in Jaguar Land.
It's just one land, one small island.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's Trent from the Turbo Duo Cast.
Hey Jeff, how are you?
Hey, what's up? I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Good, man. Well, you're on the podcast right now, and we appreciate you being here. We actually just got done talking about the House of the Dead remake, believe it or not, which we thought was a nice little segue into a conversation with you. Not sure if you saw anything about the House of the Dead remake.
No, I haven't seen anything about it.
Okay, yeah, they announced that probably over E3 here, and you know, we were just commenting about light gun shooters and sort of the death of the light gun shooter, and you know, how companies like yourself are sort of trying to revitalize that a little bit with games like Jag Zombies and Jag Zombies 2 and Saucer Wars and Fast Food and those types of things. But the question that I wanted to ask you right off the jump is, what compels someone to want to develop games for the Atari Jaguar?
Well, I guess I just always had a soft spot for it. And with the way things have evolved by today's game standards, it requires a studio of developers and testers and coders and artists. You know, you're not really gonna make a console game these days. You've got indie games out there like in the PlayStation Store and in the Nintendo eShop and stuff, but even those indie games are made by teams of indie developers. You're not really just gonna be one guy making a game nowadays, unless you do a small PC release, and which I have tried that. I've tested those waters, but people aren't really. Why would somebody pay for even download one for free for the PC, a game made by some guy, when they can get something on sale in the Steam store for $2 that's made by those teams of developers that I was just saying.
Yeah, I think when you go towards a niche of consumers that are sort of looking for that type of content, I think you can be more successful. I agree with you that if you make something free on whatever platform, it might get lost in the shuffle. The Atari Jaguar is a small enough community that you put something out, everybody's going to probably know about it. And with things like Atari Age and the forums like that, the guys who want to know about that stuff are going to know about it. It gives you that sort of that elevation to release your vision and your product and get it out there to a group of people that are hopefully going to appreciate it, right?
Right.
So do you work on your games alone, or do you I mean, you talked about how you need a team to do it. Do you do everything by yourself?
Well, I've been pretty much doing everything by myself for the last 4 years.
Wow.
As far as the box art and the manuals go, I have my girlfriend. She's a graphic designer. She usually does the manuals, and she helps with the box art. Ultimately, I have the final say so on those boxes, so I will sometimes revise those completely. But she's pretty much handles all the printed art. As far as the game graphics and coding and all that goes, I do that all myself. I do have a few play testers now that have helped me over the past couple of years that I've met through the Atari Age forums. There's like 2 or 3 that I use now. And when I first started out, I wasn't using any play testers. Just me and my son was doing it, and that resulted in less than perfect products, like the original Jag Zombies. But since I've gotten those play testers on board, I've been able to make some much better games, because sometimes you just need a fresh eye to see things, because you could leave something in there and not even realize you did it, but somebody who just fresh pair of eyes, they can pick up and say, hey, you left this in here, and this does this kind of wonky thing. Oh, I didn't even know that was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really good to have play testers on board, but no, the 3 that I've chosen have done a really good job with those last 2 releases, Saucer Wars and Jag Zombies 2.
Awesome. Now, I had a quick question. So, neither of us have actually ever talked to a game developer at all. How do you even begin to program a game, especially on the Jaguar? Is there a computer program you use, and then you put it onto the cartridge itself? I have no idea.
Well, most of the coding is done in a Notepad++. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
Okay. A regular Notepad on a computer, but I'm sure it's not that. I'm sure it's some software.
Notepad++ is basically, it's Notepad, but it allows you to do a whole lot more advanced stuff.
Okay.
You can use it for different types of coding. It doesn't have to just be stuff for a Jaguar game. But there's actually 2 development packages out right now for beginners that can get involved. But I say beginners, but it's really an in-depth thing. It's quite a learning process. There's RB Plus, which is what I've been making my games with, and then there's Jag Studio.
Oh, okay. Wow.
They're both code driven. You have to use Notepad++ with both of those, or whatever advanced tech that you want to use to do your coding. But yeah, and then just the other stuff that's used is just basic programs for editing graphics like Photoshop.
Yeah.
The sound, I use Audacity.
Oh yeah! Wow, I used to use that way back in the day.
We were
too.
using that to record our podcast.
Yeah.
When we started out.
Yeah.
Wow. So,
but yeah, as far as how a game comes to be, for me, I usually just get an idea in my head and I do a working concept, get it running on the Jag, and I go from there.
Wow. And do you? I don't know if do you do this full time, or is this just kind of you work on it when you have free time?
When I have the time, I do it on my own free time. Yeah.
Oh wow, man! How long did you work on Jags? Because that's how I first heard about you was the Jag Zombies 2. How long of a process was that?
That one, I think that was a 6-month deal. I think I worked on it for half a year.
Only 6 months, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
I'm assuming because you already had kind of the basis of the game from like the first Jag
Yeah,
Zombies.
well, it was actually no. The first Jag Zombies was really terrible. It was a great idea. It was really poor execution. I just wasn't. I wasn't that good yet, and I didn't know how to do a lot of things that I wanted to do.
Right.
Actually, Jag Zombies 2 is coming directly off of Saucer Wars. I used Saucer Wars as kind of a blueprint to make it, because we did a really good job of fine tuning that, and how the gameplay elements and stuff are supposed to be in it. So you could say it's reskinned Saucer Wars, but it's really not reskinned because they're two totally different games.
Well, you've continued to
like
revamp it though too, right? I mean, you've continued to revamp
right.
that game.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and commendations to your girlfriend, because that box art, all of all the packaging that you guys put in, it makes you feel like getting an original release. I mean, I'm not sure if that's what you were going for, but when you open up that box and you get all the pieces of the puzzle that you put in the box art itself, and you look around the box and it's just all the familiar things that you're looking for are there. She did a fantastic job with that. So give her our commendations on what she's done there. And then as far as talking about Notepad++, to say that we're noobs when it comes to that, I remember I was in college and I think I paid my roommate to take my my C+ final to get me to pass the course, and then I switched to business from engineering. So you got to be a special mind, and Jeff, you absolutely are. How did you get started programming video games?
Well, I've actually been making games ever since I was 17 or 18 years old. I'm 38 now. I started making games on the computer, but I never released anything. It was all basically just experimentation. I did do a couple of PC games. One of them I put to market. This was before Steam blew up, but nothing really came of that. I just worked on a lot of projects up until most recently that just never got finished. I did do a fan version. You can look it up sometime. It's on GameJolt.com. I don't know if you're familiar with GameJolt or not.
No,
but
no, we're not.
It's basically this place where you can download indie games. Most of them are free. Some of them are paid for. I did a 3D remake of Donkey Kong Country 2.
A 3D remake, huh?
Yeah, that was because that was the biggest game from my childhood was Donkey Kong Country 2. I just really loved that game, and so I remade a lot of the levels from it in 3D and using Game Maker. That was the last thing I did before I started dabbling in Atari Jaguar code.
Wow. So would you say that Donkey Kong Country 2 was sort of your inspiration for kind of getting going in programming?
No. Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever thought about that. But
no. Yes and no, because like I said, I spent a lot of time playing that game as a kid. And I do remember, before I actually started making games, fantasizing about how I would make a level in that game work. I was going to make it. So yeah, I guess it kind of was an inspiration, but not just that game. Lots of games.
now,
But yeah, that was a big.
Are you a Super Mario Maker fan at all?
No, I'm not. I haven't. I actually don't own it. Never got into it. I kind of stopped buying Nintendo products after Star Fox Zero dropped for the Wii U.
Wow.
I was a hardcore Nintendo fanboy up until that point, and that game just hurt me so badly. I walked away from Nintendo.
It took all the way to 2015 to get you to put your foot down, huh?
Yeah. I really hated that game. I don't see how.
I mean, you weren't the only one.
Well, I know that it was for me, and actually Donkey Kong Country is a really important game for me. I was actually in the Blockbuster tournament back in the day, Not that I got very far in it.
Humble brag.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I love Donkey Kong Country. That was a fantastic game. I remember, playing that and listening to Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson on repeat. It's the silly things that you remember. But
now, did you actually own any of those Donkey Kong Country games for the Super NES?
So yes, for Super NES, I had Donkey Kong Country as a kid. That was a game.
Okay.
That was
now you remember the manuals that came with those games?
The full color manuals.
Yes, you remember those manuals?
Absolutely.
And how they have the Cranky Kong was in there with the little word bubbles.
Yep.
Okay, those manuals. The feeling you got when you opened the Super Nintendo box, open up, you're looking through the manuals. They would have pictures of the different worlds and stuff, and the different characters and those manuals are the basis for our manuals in our Jag games. If you go back and look at that Jag Zombies 2 manual, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I have it. Yeah,
yeah,
I know.
Yeah, there's some thought bubbles in there, aren't there?
Well, it's just like it's got a full color manual. It goes through like. It has like pictures and of all the enemies and a screenshot of all the levels.
That's the thing.
Truth be told, you don't really need a manual, but it's just to have something physical and tangible there to hold in your hands.
Well, yeah, that's what the collectors
get a
want.
glimpse of the game. Yeah,
that's what I want.
Jeff, listen, man. I grew up a Sega kid, and I know what it's like to have a black and white manual for everything, except on the rare chance that Working Designs would make a game, and then it was just full color glory, fold outs, order forms, and it really made the games that much more special because you knew you had something that was put together with some TLC, and that they knew they had such a great product that they were proud of, and they wanted to show it in the best way possible. So it really was, I think, fan service when teams did that. So I can absolutely see the analog to everything that you guys are doing, and I can tell you, at least for guys like us, it's not lost on guys like us. We really, really appreciate stuff like that.
Good That's what we were going for.
Yeah.
Now do you think you would put out a Jag Zombies 3 by any chance?
Yes, there's going to be a Jag Zombies 3.
Oh,
and
breaking news.
When you beat Jag Zombies 2, there's a little hint of what's going to happen in it. It's actually going to be a totally different kind of game. It's going to be a side-scrolling survival horror beat-em-up.
Oh, hell yeah.
A beat-em-up on the Jaguar? Oh, we love... Oh, you don't even understand.
Beat-em-ups are the genre of choice on the Turbo Duo cast, Jeff. So you are getting us right where right where we love it. So
you actually, you spoiled it a little bit for me because I actually haven't. I haven't.
I'm gonna get a Jaguar right now.
I think I've
so
only
I can anticipate that.
I think I've only gotten to like the fourth, or like the third or fourth stage. After the hotel hell, and then into the
with the flying flaming skulls.
Into the next. I haven't got past that level yet. So I mean, it's not like a walkthrough like. Jag
it's
Zombies.
tough.
No, but it's a good tough where you want to go back and keep playing.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest criticisms to the first one. Not just all the bugs that were in the first one, but there was also a lot of complaining that it was so easy because you could blow through the first game in like 7 to 10 minutes, and I didn't want to do that. I really wanted to give people a real challenge, and I think I pulled that off well. A lot of people who have played the second game have complained about that second level because so much stuff happens in that hallway.
Yeah,
that hallway's tough. I didn't get out of that.
Yeah,
hallway.
it's killer when those like the spiders, they like crawl on the wall and then they like disappear and then they come back and they're just like on the screen, and that like if you don't shoot them right away, it like drains your life. Yeah,
I could have toned that down a little bit, but I felt like
you could have, Jeff. You could have toned it down, Jeff.
I could have, but I felt like no. I really wanted to just put it all out there for them, and that way in the next level, I don't know if you've seen the junkyard level or not.
Yeah. That's
you
where I've
get
got
a little bit of a breather. You get a little bit of a break. And I'm like, okay, things are kind of better, and then the challenge just keeps bumping up. I really wanted to mess with the player's head, so that was the thought process there.
No, that's good motivation, Jeff.
Hopefully it doesn't frustrate people and make them walk away.
I don't think so.
And then, I mean, you don't have to get into specifics, but I mean, when you put out each game, do you sell a good amount of copies? Does that matter? Do you make enough money where you can put it towards the next game you're working on?
Oh yes, definitely, always. That's basically how I've been doing it. I've just the money that I make off of whatever release I'm on usually does fund the next release. With the only exception being Saucer Wars. It's only just recently started to sell.
Oh, really?
When it was released, it got a really bad review from somebody who wasn't
shall not be named.
Yeah, it should not be named. Basically, he had a personal grudge against me because I talked some junk about him.
Yeah.
But I realized that I was wrong, and I tried to make it up to him by giving him a copy of Saucer Wars as a gift, and he.
Oh, so we put that out after you had given him the copy.
Yeah, it was to make amends with him, but he took that as a opportunity to crap all over not just my hard work. There were actually more people involved with that one because I actually hired a comic book artist to include a comic book with that one.
Yeah, I remember seeing the pictures of the manual.
Yeah, so that was rough there for a while. Nobody wanted to touch it because a lot of people see these video reviews and
oh yeah, of course.
A lot of people don't think for themselves. That sounds bad, but it's true. A lot of people don't think for themselves. They'll just jump on board with something just because everybody says, "Oh,
it's
that's a bad game." Yeah, exactly. And like I said, that's only recently started selling, but it has started, picking back up. So
now, do you have any idea why it started picking up? Was there some video on YouTube, like a review or something?
I'm guessing Jag Zombies 2 got people interested. Yeah, they're just like, hey, well, this isn't that bad. Maybe this last one wasn't that bad, and that's working out pretty great for me. So.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Because I really love Jag Zombies. I mean, we talked about it on our previous podcast, and I said it's a great. I mean, you can't expect House of the Dead when if that's what you're expecting.
Well, we're talking about a single player, a single developer team.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you have to know that that's in the context, and for what it is, you have a very playable game that provides a good challenge. You look at that first level. You're in the forest, and okay, yes, it's a gallery shooter, and you're not really moving through the level, but there's that parallax, and you can see sort of in the distance, and that there's a forest there, and it creates that illusion that there's this greater world there. I think where games like Jag Zombies 2 accelerates from something like Saucer Wars is that there's this. At least for me, that illusion of a living, breathing world exists in Jag Zombies 2, which creates a mysterious nature to the game and makes me that much more interested to see, okay, what's the next thing, what's the next level, what's the next challenge, how do I move forward, and how do I defeat this crazy Dracula looking monster at the end, how do I get there? So it keeps the player interested in moving forward. So I think when you understand the context, you really can appreciate this game for all that it is doing. And I don't mean that to blow you up. I just mean, us being old guys like you, in the game, we like to see things like that.
Yeah, that was actually one of the more challenging things to do because I couldn't figure out what I wanted the levels to look like, but I knew I wanted them to use the least amount of graphics as possible.
Why is that? Why did you want to use the least amount of graphics possible?
Because I wanted to cram the most amount of content and gameplay as I could into it. Because, okay, so the first game was basically still photos for each background.
Yeah. Some
of those photos looked really good. Some of them didn't. But the ones that looked really good, when I went into making Jag Zombies 2, I was like, well, I can't, if I'm going to limit the amount of resources that I'm pulling, because originally it was only going to be a 2 megabit cartridge. It actually ended up being a 4 megabit cartridge. But I was thinking it was going to be a 2 megabit cartridge when I was initially starting the development of it. I was like, if I'm going to go for such a small chips, because the maximum amount that you can put in a cartridge is for the Jaguar is just like the Genesis. I think it's a 6 megabit cartridge. But even with those, you have to have a special board, and those you got to get custom made, which I do have some of those now, but I didn't when I was working on Jag Zombies 2. But I was like, so how do I make these photorealistic backgrounds and still cram all this great gameplay that I've got in mind, because I had all these creatures in my head. The spider with the zombie head on it. I was like, I got to have all that stuff in there. I don't just want 3 or 4 zombies in it.
Gotta have the spider
So
zombies.
how do I do that? And I actually went back and played Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on the Wii U.
Amazing game. Amazing.
And I gotten really far. I was just unwinding one day, and I got to the level where it was you're in the other newer Donkey Kong games have got these silhouette levels, but I was on this blizzard level, and it's like this huge blizzard, and everything's blacked out, and you're Donkey Kong, you're going up the hill, and there's a bunch of stuff, and I was like, wait a minute. So if I do silhouettes, you're not actually producing that many graphics on the screen,
So it
but
takes
you're
up
still
less space.
creating a world.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you said, you're still creating the illusion that there's a big world out there, but all you can see is the light that's shining through whatever
Right.
tree or whatever you have. That's how that came to be, and it worked out really well in the end. I'm really proud of how that came out.
Yeah, no, I thought that looked amazing. Were you going to say something? No. So, kind of switching gears here, Jeff. Tell me a little bit about where the inspiration came for a light gun shooter versus something else. Now you've kind of spilled the beans with us a little bit about your next project that's going to be coming up, but why a light gun shooter versus another genre?
House of the Dead Overkill for the Wii.
Oh wow. Wow.
That
More
actually-
swears
that
in that
actually-
game than anything else.
That is actually one of my favorite Wii games that I own, and I remember I was in between projects on the Jaguar. I just made fast food or something. I don't remember, but I was in between projects, and I was just unwinding and playing my Wii because I hacked it to where you could put all the games on it with an external hard drive.
Oh yeah.
And we're killing it. It got really cheesy dialogue in it, but I really loved that game. And I was like, how could you do something like that on the Atari Jaguar? Nothing like that exists for the
I
Jaguar.
think you
Of
might
course.
be the only person who thought that.
Like, nothing like that exists for the Jaguar. How could you do that? So I tried to do that with the first Jag Zombies, and that was what I came up with. But I feel like Jag Zombies 2 does that initial vision that I had more justice than the original one, which leads me to a question that I had for you. Have you had a chance to play the Jag Zombies Reloaded yet?
Oh yeah. Because that's because it's on the Jag Zombies too. So I mean, I think I mentioned on the previous podcast we did that. I mean, when you play that, I can't really judge it based on the original one because you said there's a lot of glitches in it, didn't play right. I mean, it feels fine on.
It feels like Jag Zombies 2 to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I've never played Jag Zombies original, but the feeling of going through that level, I mean, of course the backgrounds are static, I think, but
Yeah.
it feels
It's like a bare. I mean, it's like a bare bones. I mean, I'm glad it's on there though, because that's just like it's more content to play and I get to experience it. But like, I mean, because it says you removed all the glitches or whatever was wrong with the first one because I wasn't familiar with it. But I think it plays fine. Yeah.
Good, because that was kind of a little extra treat that I wanted to throw on there for the people that did, because a lot of people bought that game, and I wanted to kind of give something back. Like, hey guys, I screwed up, wasn't that great, but here's the first game remastered.
now did you
I thought it was a pretty cool extra.
we thought it was too. Did you have actors that were that you had in the game that were acting out and you were doing some sort of motion capture or something?
For
Because
the animations?
it looks like there's real people like in the game that are dressed up like zombies, and and then you
No, it's 3D models, and the process that I'm using for a lot of my games, there's this site that's owned by Adobe called Mixamo, and what you do is you upload your 3D models there, and it's got a animation auto rigger. What it'll do is it'll auto rig a skeleton to any 3D model that has four limbs and a head and a body. And you can actually select from a series of different animations. So what I'll do is I'll upload the zombie models, and then I go in there and I use capture software to capture frame by frame of the 3D zombie model walking in whatever angle I want it to be in. That's how that's done. It's all 3D models.
And that's for everybody, including Carl, the man who's late for his office job, who's running across the screen in a
In the forest?
in a suit.
Yes.
We named
Yes.
him, we named him Carl. Just so you know, we named him Carl, the office worker.
Yeah. Well, you named him. I was actually wondering what his name was going to be.
His name's Carl. It's Carl, the
name
office
is Carl.
worker, and he's late for he's like 15 minutes late for his first day at the job.
Yeah, his third. He works third shift in the office.
That's
Oh,
good.
boy.
I was actually wondering about giving him a name at one point. I was like, oh, screw it. He doesn't need a name.
Well, maybe he can be one of the characters in the beat 'em up that you can throw in there as a secret character, Carl, the office worker.
Yes. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
What's the hardest part about developing a game?
The hardest part is finishing it up. That's for two reasons. One, sometimes you can get an idea and you can just keep going with it, and it just keeps evolving into something else, and you don't know when to stop. So there's that aspect of, hey, I gotta cut myself off if I plan to actually finish a game here. And the other aspect is of finishing it up is just fine tuning it to where you're delivering a product that's going to be acceptable for people to play. The last little bit of development is the hardest part, because I've actually got quite a few Jaguar games that aren't finished. I stopped at about 70% and just haven't finished them. That doesn't mean I won't. Just means I went on to doing other things, and I'll come back to them later. But yeah, the easy part is getting an idea going, getting it running on a Jaguar, and getting something that that looks and plays kind of fun. You can do that, but it's the finalization of a product that's the hardest part.
Now, do you own most of the Jaguar games? I figured you might be a collector of sorts for that then.
Well, I was a collector, but I have a skunk board now, and yeah, I had a very big Jaguar collection. I got a skunk board now, so whenever I want to play, I usually just flash it to my skunk board and play it. I've kept a couple of games. The games that I kept were Atari Carts, Defender 2000, Cybermorph, NBA, Barkley Setup and Jam.
Oh, God.
And a couple of homebrews. One of them is called Fallen Angels, and the other one is called Project One. Other than that, Defender 2000, yeah, I got those. I got rid of AVP. I got rid of a lot of the games that people like to latch onto just because for different reasons. One, I stripped some of them for parts for my games, and then others I just sold off because they're just sitting around taking up space.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And then as far as the creation of the game, like the boards and all of that, do you send out for that, or how does that whole process work?
I solder the boards myself now. When I originally started, I did not know how to solder boards at all. I didn't have a clue. I didn't know how to program the chips. I was just making the games, and I had a guy in Germany and I had a guy in New York that were soldering my boards for me, and I was paying them for the price of the parts for the chips and the boards and all that. But both of them kind of taught me, this is how you need to do it, and through trial and error, I eventually learned how to do it. I'm pretty good at it now. But what I do now is I buy the chips, I buy the shells for the cartridges, I buy all that stuff online in bulk, and I assemble them myself now. Now the boards themselves, originally you weren't able to get a hold of those boards. You had to either get new old stock of boards that weren't used but were going to be used by Atari. That's changed since I first started. Now you can order them because there are people that are actually making those and selling them. They're coming out of China or Japan or something. But I've got two different models of the Jaguar game board that I use now. One of them is actually 6 megabit. It's a custom one I told you about. But yeah, you can get them pretty easily now. It's just the cost and the time of assembling the cartridges. Sometimes it's unbearable, But
yeah.
it's a passion. So
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely hear it in your voice. You know, all the stuff that goes into making a game and making a game that you're proud of at the end of it. You know, the blood, sweat, and tears that you have to put into it, being an individual person making it. We can definitely hear it, and you know, we appreciate that. And I'll say, you know, I watched. I don't know if you know the YouTube channel Game Hut, but it's John Burton from
yes. Yes.
Who talks about how he created a lot of the techniques to create a lot of the Sega Genesis games like Mickey Mania and Toy Story, and I've watched every one of his videos, and I actually learned quite a bit from him while I was working on Jag Zombies 2. As a matter of fact, I watched his Sonic 3D Blast where he's breaking down where he went in all the different code tricks that he used. Yep.
I actually used some of those tricks because, believe it or not, a lot of that stuff that he was doing on the Genesis is not very different from what we're doing now in the homebrew scene on the Jaguar.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Well, and just, you know, to have only so much bandwidth in terms of what you can put on a game, you have to come up with, you know, unique ways to actually get all the information that you want on these chips so that you can release them as small as possible so that you can get as much content in there because you have a finite amount of memory that you're working with.
Right.
So it really resonates when I hear you say, you know, 2 meg or 4 meg, and you know, we were doing a little test session with my son just earlier. We were talking about Rampage on the Master System and how it says 2 meg of power right on the front, you know, and what that actually means. And you know, we're talking about Rampage here and how simple of a game that is. You know, to get a game like Jag Zombies 2 working even with 4 meg, that's an incredible feat.
Did you see that one video they were doing that he did on it was the Disney game for the Genesis where he was showing the different. It's the one where they've got the little fake 3D scene of Mickey running. It's a Mickey game. Mickey's running through the forest and it looks 3D, and then he's running in that tower.
Mickey Mania.
Yes, the tower. That's the
Mickey
3D
Mania.
tower.
Yeah, it's Mickey Mania. Yeah.
The 3D tower.
All those little tricks that he was doing to try to save memory, that's the same type of stuff that I was trying to do, like shading. I said, with the silhouette scene. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Awesome. So now, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna ask. So I saw on your Facebook page I don't know if it was a few weeks ago, you updated your banner or whatever for looks like a new game called Shark Bite.
Yes. That is actually did you have a particular question about it?
Oh, I don't know if you're how far you are along in it or what exactly because I'm not sure. I just saw it said Shark Bite and then there's a picture of a shark, so I don't know like what kind of style the game is or how far along you are in it.
We're aiming for a July or August release.
Oh, so soon.
Yeah, it's going to come on a transparent blue cartridge.
Oh, nice.
For the Jaguar. It's going to be basically you're a great white shark. It's got this ridiculous story that I wrote for it. Actually, somebody helped me come up with it, but it's really ridiculous. I mean, you're going to find this out at the beginning of the game anyway, so I'm not really spoiling anything.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and tell you. It's this ridiculous story about how a farmer was on a cruise ship. He brought his prize-winning cows with him.
Of course,
and
as you would.
We're checking this. We're checking the cow.
And the cruise ship, exceeded its weight limit, and it sank. So it sank, and there's all these people and these cows around in the ocean, and they're all dying or whatever. You take on the role of a great white shark, and you're like, all right, it's time to show them who's the top of the food chain. So basically, you're going to be the shark, and you're going to be navigating through these levels where you have to eat people, lots and lots of people. The more people you eat, the better your score is, but you're going to encounter hazards such as falling crates, exploding mines, other sea life, stuff like that. And yes, there's going to be a sequence where you're eating cows underwater.
Wow. Now, is this a 3D game or is this a side-scroller?
It's going to be a 2D side-scroller, but with 3D rendered graphics.
Oh, fantastic. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I
love it.
We're looking forward to that. So, we're just kind of wrapping up here, Jeff. We appreciate you being on for as long as you have. If you have a couple of more minutes, is the Jaguar your favorite system?
I have to say it's a close number 2. It's number 2.
Okay, and what would you say your favorite system is, and why is that?
See, if I tell you that, I'm going to get some grunts out of you guys because it's not really anybody else's favorite system for some reason these days.
Listen, you never know on this podcast. Okay,
It's an original Macintosh.
We've got a full Sega Saturn set behind us, so anything's
right.
possible.
I'm gonna tell you what it is, but
as long as it's not the Magnavox Odyssey.
It's not.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you what it is, but you got to give me the opportunity to explain why.
We will.
It's
we
the
will.
Gamecom.
We can't guarantee what's going to happen between you saying it and us giving you that opportunity. But no, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
The Nintendo 64.
Oh, why would that's like my favorite system.
Oh, really?
I thought you were going to throw us for a loop, like the CDI or something.
A lot of people still hate on the N64 and claim PlayStation was better and all that. But the reason why it's my favorite system is because I remember as a kid back in the summer of '95 thinking it was going to come out then. I remember being all hyped over this 64-bit console. It was so, and then it was delayed. It didn't come out till September 29th, 1996, and that pissed me off. And
no, it was quality over quantity, though. Howard Lincoln said it. Remember, quality over quantity.
Yes, I remember that. And but I also, I spent more time because I was thinking about this the other day. What is my favorite console? It has to be the N64 because one, I owned almost the entire library. Oh, wow. I went to work. I got my first job at a grocery store just so I could get the cash to buy the N64 when it launched in '96, and I was buying those games like crazy, and I spent more time on those games than anything else. Donkey Kong 64. What was some of the games? F-Zero X. I spent a lot of time playing that. I spent more time playing.
64 games at 60 frames per second were incredible. I mean, that game ran at 60 frames per second. It was, the graphics were a little bit dumbed down, but to see that game, the speed that it was rolling with, I mean, there was a feeling like you were experiencing the speed. You know what I mean? So it almost brought you, the immersion of that game was huge. You're not going to get any gripes from us when it comes to the 64.
Yeah, because the 64 is probably my favorite system too, because just like you, it's the one I spent the most time playing. Because when it came out, I was about like 12 when it came out, and so that's like peak video game playing era. Yeah,
12 to 18, 17. I mean, it's my wife was 8 when it came out, and it's her favorite system. She wipes the floor clean with us in Super Mario Kart 64. I mean, it's the one game game she can beat me in that she brags about.
Yeah, I don't know if you, like out here, I don't know if it was huge all around, but we had KB Toys was kind of like the spot to get games, and in that era, I remember I would always go to KB Toys and pre-order the games there and put $10 down. Like any time a 64 game came out, I would just pre-order it.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I was. I got almost all of them, except I wasn't real big on all the sports games because there were so many sports games. I had a few of them. A large portion of the N64's library was sports games, and I kind of stayed away from the majority of those. But all the big ones, I had all of them. GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, Banjo-Kazooie, the Zeldas, all of it. I spent so much time playing the N64. That's why it's my number one.
Well, and when you look back at the 64, the 64 has, I think, in my opinion, more good games per capita to the whole library. When you look at the releases that came out, I know that it was marketing that they said, quality over quantity, but it really ended up being true. You look at the PlayStation's library and how many 1,000 something games. I mean,
a lot of them were crap.
So much junk, right? I mean, they just flooded the market. Where the 64 was, they knew that it took a long time for them to create games and release them, and so Nintendo, there weren't that many publishers on it, so. There were fewer and farther releases, but those releases, they made sure that they were really, really high quality. So you're not going to hear any gripes from us. I mean, from the 3D platformers to the Zelda games to things like 1080 snowboarding, which was incredible.
Snowboard Kids is one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Mario Kart 64. So, what's your favorite game on the 64?
That's a tough one.
Or just name a few of your favorites, I guess. Maybe
I can give you my 3 favorites. One of them is going to be F-Zero X because, like I said, I played that a lot. It had that random track generator, and that was awesome. Banjo-Kazooie, just because I was really into that whole 3-platform collectathon crap when it was big back then. I really love that game. It was like a masterpiece to me.
Definitely.
It's kind of hard because, I liked all the big ones. I loved all the big ones. The Mario Kart, like you said, but when I think now about what games I'll go back and play, did you ever play Turok Rage Wars?
A little bit. That was the multiplayer one, right?
Yeah, it's multiplayer, but it didn't have a single player campaign. It was that was before first person shooters became first person shooters.
And we're big on the first 2 Turoks. Turok.
Yeah, I mean, we
2.
talked about Turok 1 because we had recently picked that up within the past 6 months, and we had talked about it on one of the podcasts and how fantastic even Turok 1 is. Being a I think it was the first person shooter on the 64.
3 was not that good. I remember I didn't like 3.
Yeah,
I liked 1 and 2, and I liked Rage Wars because it was different. It was something different. There's just too many games. I think F-Zero X, Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie. That's a classic too. It always sucked when you died and you had 95 of the music notes because then you have to start over and get all of them over again. They fixed that with the Xbox release where they you kept the same amount of music notes, but. Yeah, that game was a little bit brutal, but it was so much fun, so iconic, and I still find myself.
Star Fox 64.
What was it?
Star Fox
64.
Oh,
that's
amazing game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember when they hyped that up because it came with the Rumble Pack.
Yep, that was the game that started the Rumble Pack.
Yeah.
Now you see where Rumble Packs have gone. So a lot of innovation came from the 64. So again, you're not going to hear any gripes from us. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us. One last question is, how can the listeners and us, how can we personally help and support you? Tell us a little bit about where to go to see more about what's happening with Wave One Games.
If you're interested, just check out the website, wave1games.net. I've got 2 Facebook pages. There's where you can see any updates of stuff that I'm working on. There's the Wave One Games Facebook page, the official page. And then I'm also the head administrator of Atari Jaguar Connection, which is a Facebook group for Atari Jaguar fans.
I'm in that one. I didn't know you were one of the admins on there. Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's actually my group. I started it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, but that's all things Jaguar. But of course, if I've got something that's coming out and I want to let people know about it, I'm going to post about it in there. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, got to get myself I don't know if that exists, but a Jag Zombies T-shirt is something I'd be looking into. If you've created anything like that.
We did some Atari Jaguar logo T-shirts. It was just a Jaguar logo, but not anything specific to any of our games. We were selling those for a while. We sold out though.
Oh wow!
Who would have thought?
When they're back up again, they'll be back up on the website for order.
Who would have thought there'd be such crazy demand for just the Atari Jaguar?
Do we know if JagFest is going to happen again?
You mean with COVID? I don't know. I know it didn't happen last year. I can find out.
Maybe
I can let you
2022. It's coming back, baby.
Yeah, let us know. We'd like to share it with.
Actually, I have one. This is just one random question. Have you ever been able to test out the Jaguar VR headset?
No, I haven't actually tested that out. I've got something similar to it, which is what. Are you familiar with the Philips Scuba?
Philips Scuba.
Yes, I am. I remember the ads for it.
Okay, so the Philips Scuba was the end result of the Jaguar VR. As you know, it didn't go to market, but Philips were the ones that designed the Jaguar VR. So what they ended up doing was they kept the mold for the headset, basically the case and everything that they made for the Jaguar VR headset is the Philips Scuba. The difference between the Scuba, from what I'm told, and the Jaguar VR is the resolution of the screens inside of it is much lower on the product that finally went to market than what it was in that prototype Jaguar VR.
Got it.
Cool.
Well, Jeff, thanks so much for joining us. We certainly appreciate everything that we're doing, and that you continue to do. We really look forward to Shark Bite and to the Jag Zombies beat 'em up. Of course, that's the genre of choice here on the Turbo Duo. So, thanks so much. We'll be checking in with you again, and we really appreciate having you on the show.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, man. It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, take care, Jeff.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So Jeff with Wave One Games,
Coming in hard.
That was a fun interview.
Yeah. Hey, the first time's always fun.
Yeah. So it was fun and interesting to get a little bit of a lay of, the development aspect. It seems like there's so much that goes into it. It's just like
I know because
you have to be a special mind.
Yeah, because I've never.
Devoted person to actually go through this whole process. It just seems like so arduous.
Yeah, no, I mean I understand, because I went to school for design and it similar kind of stuff like creating something from just your head and then putting it on paper or into Photoshop or something like that, or just creating like some of those like the wood boxes I made, stuff like that,
But I really have a soft spot for people who like Jeff, who are they're doing this on their own and they're doing it because they love it and it's their passion and no matter the adversity that they get, they still push forward. Like that to me is something that I like. I mean, I want to see people like that succeed.
And
the fun part is that this is actually Jag Zombies 2. I can't speak for any of the other games, but it seems like it just keeps getting more developed and it's becoming more of a better product as he's doing this over and over again. So hats off to Wave One Games and what they're doing. It might not always be your cup of tea. You have to understand that this is a one person team, and if you do that and you put yourself there, you can appreciate the game for what it is, which is a well made product. So.
Jag Zombies 3, huh? A little side-scrolling beat-em-up action.
Yeah, maybe you heard it here first.
It's news to
me. You might have heard it here first. But so we'll be following up with that, and I'm kind of compelled to just get a Jaguar now.
That's all it takes. Someone's just got to plant the seed.
Yeah,
and then you're like, I kind of want it now.
Well, I mean, I want to support him. I want to support Wave One Games. You
can just buy the game,
or just buy the game, borrow your Jaguar. Yeah. So hopefully that was fun for you guys. We've had a blast with this podcast, and we'll try to bring more content like that to you guys. Next podcast coming up, we're actually going to be talking about a little teaser.
Ooh.
A little teaser. We're going to be talking.
It's going to be Twisted.
I don't know if this is our first PS1 game.
Twisted.
Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Twisted Metal, everybody. Which I'm really, really excited to do.
Well, no, I guess
there could have been a crossover game maybe that we talked about, but
we kind of dabbled when we were talking about Road Rash.
Oh, that's
but it
right.
wasn't like it wasn't dedicated.
Right. So
PlayStation.
I think this is our first dedicated. Well, no, Resident Evil.
Oh yeah, like the biggest PlayStation game.
Right, Resident Evil. Well, yeah. So, but really interested to get more into the PS1 Twisted Metal. Almost a launch game.
Iconic.
Seriously,
pretty
iconic.
much.
I saw a pop figure of Sweet Tooth the other day. Was
really?
The car and everything?
Oh, the whole thing.
The whole getup. So,
I mean, yeah, it was like the as you like to say, the progenitor of the car combat.
Yeah.
The vehicular games.
Yeah, I mean that, and I guess you could say Destruction Derby, but.
Well, was that before Twisted Metal? It was probably around the same time.
Around the same time.
Destruction Derby's not.
It's kind of like more like bumper cars.
Yeah. It's not. It's yeah. But I understand what you're saying.
Destruction Derby doesn't hold a candle to Twisted Metal.
You couldn't lace my boots.
So and as always, guys, feel free to share with us any games that you'd like to see on the podcast. If we've got some memories and we've got some stories to tell about Twisted Metal, I certainly do.
Most definitely,
maybe
bro.
Unexpected, actually, how I played this game, which is going to provide a chuckle for everybody. But anyways, with that, guys, thanks so much for joining us. As always, all that's good starts from above. Be safe, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it turbo. Maybe we can do it. Take your time, do it right. We can do it, baby.